When it comes to engagements, manners matter. With marriage proposals modernizing into an anything-goist mentality, long-standing proposal customs are often considered optional, adding confusion to what's considered proper when it comes to proposing. In fact, a recent proposal survey conducted by Korbel Champagne Cellars revealed that 68% of Americans agree that there's no right way to propose. Korbel and etiquette expert Peter Post weigh in on some of today's most discussed proposal etiquette issues. Meet the parents. This is a common question and an area where the rules have slightly changed. The concept of asking your intended's parents' permission to wed may seem old-fashioned, but the modern equivalent isn't. Discussing your plans and intentions with your future in-laws is still a sign of respect. On bended knee, once considered a sign of servitude to the lover, this tradition dates back to the days of knights and chivalry and continues to evoke romance today. But if you think you'll be weak at the knees when proposing, pick another pose that's comfortable for you. Romance rules decide on what your intended will find sentimental and memorable and incorporate meaningful gestures such as asking for her hand at her favorite restaurant. As etiquette guidelines evolve with the times, planning a proposal can be confusing and overwhelming. That's why Korbel is once again helping men and women make their ultimate marry me moment a reality through the Korbel Perfect Proposal Contest. Judges will select 3 One Street Prize winners and Korbel will bring their winning proposals to life just before Valentine's Day, 2005, including an exclusive round signature diamond engagement ring from Blue Nile created from among the top 1% of all diamonds in the world. The grand prize winner will also receive a honeymoon cruise on Norwegian Cruise Line. Who is Dr. Lit Hung Leung? Lit Hung Leung, MD, discovered that B5 vitamins were effective in successfully treating acne. Because of his research, many people have discovered the benefits of vitamin B5. His research has allowed many people to successfully heal their acne. Initially, this treatment was only popular in Asian countries, but the beneficial effects of vitamin B5 is starting to become known worldwide. Oily skin is one of the major factors in causing acne. Dr. Lit Hung Leung hypothesized that a person taking large amounts of vitamin B5 pantothenic acid would slow down the body's production of oil. After extensive research and studies, he discovered that his theory was correct. Vitamin B5 not only caused the body to slow down the overproduction of oil which effectively treated acne, but it also causes pores to shrink and make the skin more smooth and beautiful. Dr. Lit Hung Leung's original paper on the effects of the B5 vitamin was published in 1997. Now 10 years later, people are starting to realize just how effective vitamin B5 can be in treating acne. As Lit Hung Leung discovered, B5 vitamins work by regulating the oil-producing glands of the body. This causes the body to slow down the overproduction of oil, which then reduces acne. B5 vitamins actually work to treat acne at the source of the problem rather than treating the symptoms. Before Dr. Lit Hung Leung studied the benefits of taking B5 vitamins, there weren't many options for treating acne that were actually effective. Topical creams are a popular treatment method, but they mostly treat the symptoms of acne and not the root cause. Topical creams also contain chemicals that are absorbed into the body. Prescription drugs like Accutane are fairly effective against acne, but this treatment comes along with potentially severe side effects. For anyone with oily skin, B5 vitamins can change their skin forever. When you treat the cause of acne, the symptoms such as oily skin and pimples begin to disappear. Vitamin B5 can be a miracle for someone suffering from acne problems. It's an all-natural substance that really does help cure acne. B5 vitamins are also helpful because they cause so few side effects. Unlike Accutane, a prescription drug that effectively treats acne but also carries risk of serious damage to liver and other organs, using vitamin B5 generally causes minimal side effects that are usually short-lived. Some side effects are even positive, such as an increase in energy. What are the negative side effects of taking vitamin B5 in large doses? Dr. Lit Hung Leung discovered that side effects were minimal and can include upset stomach and possibly mild diarrhea. Vitamin B5 is an essential vitamin for the body. It can be found naturally in many foods including red meat, eggs, fish, broccoli and soybeans. The amount of vitamin B5 found in food is not enough to effectively treat acne. A much higher amount is needed and should be taken as a supplement that is specially formulated to treat acne. Because the benefits of vitamin B5 are becoming well known, it's easy to find a supplement for treating acne. The research of Litung Liang, MD, has greatly impacted the way acne can be treated. He showed that there is a natural way to combat acne. He learned that taking large doses of vitamin B5 is the key to stopping the body's overproduction of oil and treating acne at its source. Previous to his research, not a lot was known about this amazing treatment, but now it is an accepted and readily available method of curing acne. Because of Litung Liang, MD, many people have found this miracle cure for acne. Where to find cheap wedding dresses. If you don't want to spend too much more on your wedding dress, read on. There are lots of places where you might want to spend more money on your wedding. You might want to spend more on a DJ, the reception, or get more beautiful flowers. This means cutting on some other expenses, and your wedding dress might be one of them. Don't worry, as you can still purchase a beautiful, elegant wedding dress even if you have a budget. Here are some ideas for you and some places to look to save money on your wedding dress, your mother's wedding dress. Some brides love the dress their mom wore when she got married and choose to use again when they get married. If you love your mom's dress and she is going to let you wear it, you are in luck. All you might have to pay for are some alterations and cleaning instead of paying for a whole new wedding gown. Clearance racks and sales at bridal stores. Bargains are everywhere. Remember to look for them and to ask for them. Many retailers discount items at the stores from time to time, and bridal stores are not an exception. Look for clearance racks at bridal stores, ask about when sales are. You might find out that your perfect dress there is on sale right now. And do look at the department stores even if you are looking for something a bit more formal. You never know what you can find sometimes. Sales and clearances at department stores. Especially if you are looking for informal wedding dresses, department stores might be a great place to look. Sometimes special occasion dresses get discounted a lot and you can buy a very pretty wedding dress for under $100. Online stores and sales. Search for wedding dresses online, including online web stores and auctions. Sometimes you can get a much better deal online than you would ever find at stores. Good luck with finding that perfect dress. Once you have an idea about the dress that you are looking for as well as the price range you are willing to pay, you should be able to find that perfect dress. What to include in the wedding reception contract. Never assume you have the wedding reception venue retained unless you have a written contract. At the very least, you must make sure the following things are part of your contract. Everything that you agree on verbally should become part of the contract between you and your wedding reception venue. The exact date of your wedding day. The exact time of your event should also be included. Total cost and itemized rundown of what is included. Be sure to have accessories such as tables, chairs, linens, etc. included. How much decoration is included? What specific decoration is included? If you agreed on specific colors, be sure it's also included. The date and dollar amount of your deposit and the date of when the total amount due. 5. The exact location of your event. If they have multiple rooms for events, be sure the name of the room is included in the contract. Their cancellation or refund policy. Emergency contact person. You should be provided with name and phone number of the emergency contact person. Room capacity to make sure the site accommodates your wedding party. Contracts are a serious matter. They are legal and binding, so you might want an attorney or a wedding professional review the contract for you before you sign it. Before signing the contract, read it over carefully. Some companies will ask you to pay half of the total amount upon closure of the contract. Others will ask for a down payment. Be prepared with cash, personal check. To protect yourself, try to pay with a credit card. When reading the contract and before signing, find out what your obligations are. If you guests drink a bit too much, find out who would be responsible should anything happen. Once you made your choice, you need to receive a written contract signed by the person in charge, and dated. The contract must include all of your responsibilities and all of the responsibilities, warranties and guarantees offered by the facility. When your love has gone platinum. Most of the 2.3 million Americans who'll tie the knot in 2006 dream of making their wedding the epitome of elegance. They've seen the incredible wedding bands that Sandra Bullock and Jesse James exchanged vintage platinum and diamond, and they want the same sophisticated look both for themselves and their wedding party gifts. And the first rule for making that happen is, know what's hot and what's right for you as opposed to what works for Sandra and Jesse. Platinum settings add an exceptional layer of luster to jewelry, and complemented by this year's hottest gemstones, canary diamonds, rubies and pearls. That means that brides and grooms have a multitude of options. If your intended is adventurous and trend-savvy, rings with bright, multicolored gemstones by Samuel Getz could work. For the more classic or romantic woman, popular designs include Kirk Kara's vintage-inspired platinum rings with filigree decorated bands. Although many brides choose wedding bands that complement their engagement rings, it's becoming less common for couples to have matching bands. That's opened more choices than ever for men, in particular, who, with wedding bands having become must-have for them, too can now opt for more unique masculine styles, from designers like Furrer Jacket, Jeff Cooper and Zoltan David, that feature wide-brushed platinum or platinum bands with bezel-set diamonds. Accessories and wedding party gifts. Given the importance of the rituals preceding the big day, bridal accessories should reflect the bride's individual flair. One way of doing so that appeals to many is by going for an antique look, with precision set or Thackeray jewelry, when it comes to their necklace, bracelet and earrings. A tip: it's also a great way to incorporate the something old tradition. And if you are looking to make a statement by giving your bridesmaids and ushers pieces that often turn into family heirlooms, consider delicate platinum pendants from Sooner Brothers. Lace collection for women and platinum cufflinks, by Herco, for men. When planning the details of your wedding, remember that your platinum rings and bridal jewelry are the pieces that will last well after the gorgeous three-tiered wedding cake has been eaten, says jewelry and style expert Michael O'Connor. Platinum's natural density will hold a diamond or gemstone securely for a lifetime of wear. What makes for the perfect dating formula? People whose marriages unravel most often are filled with sadness and bitterness and find it hard to ever trust or love anyone again. Though these negative feelings may linger for quite a while, it's important for the sake of your happiness that you make an effort to put these emotions aside, and when you are ready, to go out and start living again and dating again. You need to believe that you are capable of falling in love and being loved once again. Dating can be the best way to find your ideal life partner. Before jumping into the dating scene, make sure to ask yourself what your needs are and what qualities you want in your new partner. Just read on to learn about the do's and the don'ts of successful dating. Being positive and honest makes for the perfect dating formula. Don't try to hide your past relationships. Instead, be open to your date about your past experiences and partners. If your date is mature and sensitive enough, he or she will understand and empathize with you. Don't exaggerate about yourself or past experiences. Remember, a relationship that is based on dishonesty is bound to fail. Share with your date your expectations for the new relationship and try to understand too what the expectations of your date are. On the basis of your experience, try to judge whether the new man or woman in your life has anything in common with your ex. If there seems to be quite a few similar traits that make you feel uncomfortable, then it may be a good idea to call off the relationship before it gets too serious. Things to keep in mind while dating. There is no rule restricting you to date just one person in the beginning. Try and date actively and even get to know different people through dating services so that you can better understand what type of partner can best provide you with a loving relationship. Dating does not call for any commitment right away, it's only a process that helps you find the right partner that you are willing to commit your love to. Proceed one step at a time to build a long-lasting and enduring love and relationship with your new partner. Being too hesitant or too impatient when dating will not help you find the right partner for you. Don't get emotionally involved right from the very beginning and don't reveal too much at an early stage. Take time to judge for yourself whether you truly have fallen in love with the person or whether it is just an infatuation. Any relationship between a man and a woman is complex and unpredictable yet exciting, otherwise life would be so lonely and meaningless. Dating just helps to make the process easier and more natural to find the right person for you. What to include with wedding invitations. Wedding invitations is one of the most important decisions that a bride and groom need to make when planning their wedding. Wedding invitations are often the first contact made between the bride and groom and their guests. This makes it important to make sure that all of the necessary items are included. The first consideration is obviously the wedding invitations themselves. These should include the day, date, time and location of the wedding. It should also include the names of the bride and groom and the names of whoever is hosting the wedding if different than the bride and groom. If there is a reception following the ceremony, then this location should be included as well. The wedding invitations should match the overall tone and color scheme of the wedding. This will alert the guests as to what to expect at the wedding, whether it's a formal or casual affair. It's imperative to include reply cards within the envelope. This is just as important as the wedding invitations. This card will need to have spaces that the guest can use to fill in their name, whether or not they are attending the wedding, and the number of people who will be attending in their party. These reply cards should have a self-addressed, stamped envelope included for the guests to return. These reply cards are imperative to include with the wedding invitations. Wedding invitations should also include information for out-of-town guests who will need to make travel arrangements to the wedding. The bride and groom should make sure to book a block of rooms at a local hotel. The hotel will likely give a discount. This information should then be included with the wedding invitations so that guests can take advantage of the lower rate as well as book their trip in advance. The wedding invitations may need to include information about the reception if it's at a different location than the ceremony or at a later time. This would include the location of the reception time and directions to the reception site. This does not need to be anything as fancy as the wedding invitations, but is necessary for guests to have this information prior to the wedding. There are special extras that can be included with wedding invitations in order to make them more elegant and appealing. This includes the traditional piece of tissue paper overlay on top of the wedding invitations or other embellishments. These additional touches will complete the look of the invitations and envelopes. Wedding invitations are a lot of fun to choose. It's at this time that many brides and grooms really feel connected and reality of the wedding sets in. It becomes truly exciting. What's tarot astrology? Tarot astrology is the system through which a reading of the cards in a tarot deck help you through troubled times by offering a reflection on your past, present, and future. Tarot is closely associated with astrology as each card relates to a planet, element, or astrological sign. Tarot cards are used for divination, often known as fortune telling. But many psychologists have used them as well, feeling that the cards often make patients delve into how they feel about themselves. This is done through the subconscious. For example, let's say you know work is not going well, but you do not allow yourself to think about it. Getting a tarot card reading that shows you need to change occupations is not really telling your future so much as it is making you face what is really going on in your life. A tarot card deck consists of 78 cards that fall into two distinctive parts. The first part is called the Major Arcana. This part of the deck has 22 cards, 21 suitless cards referred to as trumps, and one card called the Fool. It's believed that these cards represent different stages of life that we go through. Many are recognizable, such as the Magician associated with the planet Mercury, the Lovers associated with the astrological sign Gemini, and the Death card associated with Scorpio. The other 56 cards are in the Minor Arcana. Arcana is taken from the Latin word arcanum, meaning secret. The Minor Arcana is divided into 4 suits, just like regular playing cards. The 4 suits are the Cups, the Wands, the Swords, and the Pentacles. Each of these cards represents a certain element of the earth and is associated with certain astrological signs. The cups represent water and are associated most closely with Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. The cups stand for emotions, spirituality, and the unconsciousness. The wands represent fire and are associated with Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The wands stand for action, creativeness, and personal growth. The swords represent air and are associated with Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. The swords stand for the mind, intelligence, and knowledge. The final suit, the Pentacles, represents Earth itself and is associated with Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The Pentacles stand for the physique, bodily experiences for practicality. In addition to the 4 suits, there are also court cards including the King, Queen, Prince, and Princess for each suit. The Minor Arcana cards provide more details to the Major Arcana cards. The Major Arcana gives an individual direction and information about their personal life and emotional and mental state. The Minor Arcana cards offer additional guidance in areas such as relationships, activities, failures, and successes. The Major Arcana cards are seen as more spiritual, while the Minor Arcana cards are seen as material. Over the years, the interpretation of the cards has evolved. Modern decks of tarot cards are much more expressive than their earlier version, due in part to the pictures being more closely associated with their meaning. Tarot readers prize their cards and often will not let others touch them as they are viewed as sacred tools of their trade. Many card sets are often viewed as works of art because of the detailed pictures on each one. Finding a psychic for a tarot reading is easy. If you are looking to visit a psychic in person, check in your local yellow pages under psychic. If you live in a remote area or are leery of visiting a psychic in person, you can also get tarot card readings online. If you use your favorite internet search engine to search on free tarot reading, you will find many sites appear. If you are leery that free readings might not be as accurate as paid reading, you can also find online psychics who will charge to do a reading. Some psychics will base their charges on how many questions you wish to ask about the reading, while some will just charge a flat fee for so many minutes. Whether you get a tarot card reading online or in person, there are several things you should keep in mind. The tarot card reading should not scare you, but rather give you a better understanding of yourself. They will help you with not only what your future holds, but also what's presently going on in your life. You should leave the reading with a positive attitude and feeling enlightened. Wholesale wedding favors. Making your life a little easier. Wholesale wedding favors are a great way to save money coming up to your big day. Everything about planning that special day sometimes seems to cost a small fortune, so finding great wholesale wedding favors can really lighten the financial load. Not only that, finding wholesale wedding favors can reduce your stress by marking one more item off that ever-growing to-do list. Unlike your dress or the wedding cake, favors are the one wedding accessory that you will need a multitude of, so purchasing wholesale wedding favors makes sense. Wholesale wedding favor stores will offer you a good choice at a great price. You will be buying in bulk anyway, and wholesale wedding favor stores can help you turn that to your advantage. So how do you find wedding favors wholesale? Online stores are a great place to start. Entering wholesale wedding favors into your favorite search engine will point you in the direction of a range of cheap wholesale wedding favors. Your favorite wedding store might also offer one-off deals on wholesale wedding favors, so keep your eyes peeled when visiting their website. You can find wedding favors wholesale in your local area too. Cheap wholesale wedding favors can be found at local outlet stores. Advertisements of these sales can usually be found in your local press, so program the words wholesale wedding favors into your subconscious and be ready to pounce when your internal alarms start to ring. Finding wholesale wedding favors can make a big difference to your wedding budget, but finding wedding favors wholesale can be a little work. Keep your eyes open though, and this effort can be minimized, and the small amount of extra work will most definitely pay off. So make life easier for yourself in the long run by looking out for wholesale wedding favors. Cheap wholesale wedding favors can make a big difference to your budget, allowing you to spend a little more on other things. Take advantage of wholesale wedding favors. It means more money and less stress for you. Wholesale wedding favors, save some money and still have a great wedding. When it comes to high quality medical shirts, scrubs tops are usually your most reliable decision. When the time comes to purchase high-quality medical shirts, scrubs tops are often the first piece of medical apparel considered. That is because when it comes to medical shirts, scrubs tops offer unique planned professionalism, reliability, functionality and individuality. There are few pieces of medical apparel as necessary and as versatile as medical shirts. Scrub tops, of course, are the leading type of professional shirts. If you are interested in purchasing high-quality medical shirts, scrubs tops are often your first choice for superior quality and reliability. There are few concepts as important to your working environment as the medical apparel you choose to utilize. Of course, when you care for medical shirts, scrubs tops are often the easiest to care for simply because medical apparel manufacturers clearly have cleaning instructions included. This ensures that you get the most for your money when you purchase medical shirts. Scrubs tops don't have to be a sterile white color anymore. In fact, scrubs tops are hotter than ever with a brilliant array of colors, prints and designs to choose from. It's easy to find a company capable of selling medical shirts. Scrubs tops are a popular category within the medical apparel industry. One reason for this popularity has to do with the versatility and functionality of the medical shirts. Scrubs tops offer so many options not only to the professional career but to the person and to the medical staff as well. You get so many benefits from high-quality medical shirts. Scrub tops are just the beginning of what you can get simply by wanting to look your best while maintaining the level of professionalism necessary for your medical career. Of course, when it comes to medical shirts, you will find that the benefits offered by those medical shirts does not stop simply at you and your career. In fact, there is so much more you can do with the right medical shirts. Scrubs tops offer you the opportunity to protect you and your patient from contagions and other unwanted pests. Scrubs tops must maintain the level of sterility and neatness required by your medical facility simply to keep everybody healthy and clean. Yes, there are a lot of medical shirts. Scrubs tops are usually chosen by what is required in your medical or healthcare facility as well as what you prefer yourself. This is what makes the concept of medical shirts so wonderful. You get the chance to be you. In an industry where conformity is often strict, you will appreciate the benefits of these medical shirts. Scrubs tops let you be who you are while you are still conforming to standards set forth by your medical institution. When you need high-quality medical shirts, Scrubs tops are of course top of the line. Where are you going to get those high-quality medical shirts? Scrubs tops are available through your favorite medical apparel company. You will find great prices, reliable service and superior customer service when you shop with the medical apparel company you trust. White Swan Medical Uniforms, which is right for you. Trust White Swan for your medical apparel needs. Yes, there are many people who would exclaim that simply you trust this medical apparel company, but you deserve to know why trusting this medical apparel company is beneficial to you and your career. What's it that you get with White Swan uniforms and scrubs that you don't get from those other medical apparel designers? Aren't all medical apparel designers the same? Will you save money? You have heard the highly regarded names in the medical apparel industry such as Cherokee, Urbane, Dickies, Peaches and Barco. These are medical apparel designs with a reputation as offering the best quality at reasonable prices. Each medical apparel designer has something that makes them unique and unusual in this hustling and evolving industry. White Swan uniforms and scrubs are a superior choice for those wanting affordable solutions with the same high-quality look and feel. When you need superior quality and affordable rates, you will find that you can trust White Swan uniforms and scrubs to provide you with just that. Consequently, there are more designs offering the high-quality construction you require. Why trust your needs to White Swan uniforms and scrubs? Construction: you can trust the high-quality construction. The materials used are soft and professional. The seams and hemlines are exceptionally designed to last longer. The construction means you can rely on your new medical apparel for longer without the need to continually purchase new ensembles for your wardrobe. Fashion: there's nothing like feeling and looking awesome when you go to work. You carry yourself just a little bit better and the positive attitude radiates to your clientele or patients. You can put your clientele or patients at ease, relieving tensions and anxieties. Hard to believe one piece of clothing can do so much for you and your patients or clientele. Affordability. Just because you work within the healthcare industry does not mean you have a lot of money to spend on your medical apparel. Many medical professionals live on a budget, and sometimes the affordable solution is the main goal. However, when you find a designer capable of providing all your needs, you will be wise to stick with this designer. If you are on a budget, White Swan uniforms and scrubs may be ideal for you. Functionality: there are few concepts as nice or as appreciated as affordable functional healthcare clothing. Yes, you can have genuinely wonderful functionality in your workwear. Whether you choose a lot of pockets or simply choose accessories making it easier for you to transport what you need on your person, you will find that functionality is an important part of your daily workwear ensemble. You can do more the more you have. There are few concepts as interesting or riveting as the medical apparel you choose to utilize on a day-to-day basis. You don't have to go overboard with price to get high quality, fashionable and affordable construction for your healthcare clothing. Looking good has never been so affordable or functional. Where to send flowers from in the UK. If you are interested in making somebody's day, there are many things that you can do. But before you jump the gun, you should really consider the simple act of sending them some flowers. Although this may seem a bit outdated to some people, the fact of the matter is that nothing could be further from the truth. When you send flower, the recipient will not only have a great gift that they can display in their home or office, but they will also love you for taking the time to think of them. Does it get any better than that? The question that you have at this point is probably where to get these flowers. After all, you cannot just go to the local garden and start to pick them. Sure, you could do this, but they would not exude of beauty and professionalism. Luckily, there are many places that deliver flowers in the UK. You need to simply find the one that's best for you and then take things from there. Most shops have everything from Mother's Day flower delivery to spring flowers and much more. A simple call and you will be able to get a better idea as to what is available. To find a flower shop in your area of the UK, you should use the phone book and/or internet. Simply put, you should not have any problems finding a shop that suits your needs if you put in the right amount of time. This industry is thriving, to say the least, and when it comes to things like Mother's Day flower deliveries, they are all fighting to be the best of the best. Once you have found a shop that can help you with your order, the next thing is to make sure that they have what you need. Are you searching for rose flowers? If so, you need to make sure that they have a large selection of what you are looking for. And of course, make sure that you also take pricing into consideration. You don't want to pay more than the industry standard if you don't have to. Sending flowers from any destination in the UK is easier than some people make it out to be. Don't be like a lot of people and skip out on the act of sending Mother's Day flowers because you cannot find a shop that suits your needs. Instead, get an early start so that you know where you will place your order before the time even comes. As you can see, there are many things to consider as far as sending flowers is concerned. But if you take the time to find a great flower shop in your area, you should get what you want, which will in turn make somebody very happy in the end. When do I order and send out my wedding invitations? It's my recommendation that you order your wedding invitations at least 4 weeks prior to mailing them out to your guests. This will allow you plenty of time to receive your wedding invitations and double-check your order to make sure you have received everything you ordered and no mistakes were made. It will allow you enough time for a reprint is needed. It will also allow you plenty of time to address all the envelopes. Wedding invitations should be mailed out so that your guest will receive them at least 6 to 8 weeks prior to the wedding. This will allow your guest enough time to make travel plans and return the respond card you included with your wedding invitation. Typically, the respond by date should be 2 weeks prior to your wedding date. This should allow you enough time to make your final preparations. You will have many other things to take care of as your wedding approaches, and the last thing you need is to have to rush to get your wedding invitations addressed and mailed out. There will undoubtedly be last-minute names to add and address changes to deal with, so please allow yourself plenty of time to accomplish this task. What is embarrassment? Embarrassment is a form of emotion that makes us feel professionally or socially wrong in regards to words, thoughts and actions as perceived and pointed out to us by other people. This can result in some loss of personal dignity or honor, but the type and amount is all dependent on the situation at the time. Embarrassment has been confused by some with shame. Shame is different in that the person who has been shamed has done something that to others or society is considered to be wrong morally. There are two main forms of embarrassment, including professional and personal. Each one has distinctive but similar characteristics. Professional embarrassment or official embarrassment is defined by a lack of confidence in actions taken or the deliberate ignoring of evidence in work. When this involves embarrassment at work or on official business, this may have come as a result of the loss of materials, money, or even life. Some examples of these include corrupt government practices, failure in public policies, unethical forms of behavior, personal actions and habits of a public figure that face legal redress or public opinion, or alternatively official people caught in personal situations that cause them embarrassment. Such forms of embarrassment do not need to be major in nature. The tiniest miscalculation or error can result in more official or public embarrassment, especially if this relates to safety of people. One example of this can be found in the Challenger space shuttle disaster, where human error prior to the launch resulted in the deaths of all the astronauts. NASA was publicly embarrassed, and the error's miscalculations could have been avoided had proper action been taken. Of course, not every professional type embarrassment becomes so publicly known. Some events occur that create embarrassment, but for the person themselves. An example of this is when a political candidate loses an election. The person involved has not done anything wrong, but the hopes of many of the people supporting this person were dashed, and as a result the candidate will feel embarrassment. Alternatively, a medical researcher can propose a theory that is widely upheld by the medical community only to find that they did not account for something in that theory and someone proves the theory to be invalid. The researcher would not be publicly embarrassed as much as they would feel a lower level of personal embarrassment. Generally speaking, official or public embarrassment results in a public outrage, the denial of any involvement on the part of the person who caused the embarrassing situation, or an attempt to make the embarrassment not look as bad or serious as it appears. In some cases, the embarrassed party will take steps to remedy the situation by issuing press releases, statements, resign their position, avoid the press or the general public, accept a demotion or loss of employment, and may even behave as if there was nothing that occurred. Personal embarrassment can be more personal. In this case, the person can have unwanted intrusion into their personal affairs or mistakes. Their character may even be questioned by others, especially when the embarrassment is as a result of such actions as lying, losing a competition, burping, passing wind, or being caught in the act of sex. In some cultures, incorrect forms of dress are considered embarrassing. Another form of this embarrassment can come as the result of what other people do to the embarrassed person. Some examples include a parent showing baby pictures to the boyfriend of their daughter that they hardly know, unwarranted comments or criticism about the way that person is attired or behaving, being the topic of unknown gossip, personal rejection, being pushed into being a focal point of attention, or seeing someone else getting embarrassed. When a person is personally embarrassed for whatever reason, they can experience one or all of the following reactions: blushing, nervousness, sweating, fidgeting, stammering, twitching. Most people will initially try to cover up their feeling of embarrassment by laughing in a nervous fashion or donning a weak smile. This is perfectly normal in situations where a breach of etiquette has occurred. In more embarrassing situations, though, a person may faint, cry, or even run away. Embarrassment is a normal reaction to situations where a loss of face, mistake, or even a willful error has been made. Each person has a different response to embarrassing situations, and dependent on the person's standards and the situation itself, the person may not feel embarrassed at all. What to expect when you buy Landau ladies' collegiate scrubs. Medical scrubs and medical uniforms are an important part of the healthcare provider's wardrobe. There are so many styles and choices to choose from, you can expect to find a unique design and style that is not shared by every other member of the medical team you work with. Ladies' collegiate scrubs are perfect for allowing the woman to show her team spirit while providing the clean and sanitary look and feel she is expected to exhibit while at work. There are many popular ladies' collegiate scrubs on the market today. You get to choose from LSU Tigers, Miami Hurricanes, Michigan State Spartans, Arkansas Razorbacks, and many other popular college teams. Why oh why would a woman want to wear collegiate scrubs? Well, the truth is just about as many women as men enjoy two or more sports teams. Landau offers a high-quality professional addition to the woman wanting more in her day-to-day working experience. You will find you can have it all by simply wearing those Landau ladies' collegiate scrubs or uniforms. There are benefits to wearing Landau uniforms and other medical attire. You will put anxious and nervous patients at ease. You will have an instant icebreaker. You will be showing your team spirit. You will have something for those sports-themed days. You will have high-quality uniforms to work with that and more. You will have your favorite team with you everywhere you go. Yes, you will find there are numerous benefits to choosing those college-themed uniforms for your workplace environment. There are so many benefits that you will wonder why you haven't chosen a favorite team already when it comes to your workplace apparel. These nurse uniforms are often fully colored to match your favorite team. For example, if you are rooting for the Florida Gators, the uniform may just be blue and orange. This is great because you are getting away from the ladies' humdrum sterile white that is so popular in the healthcare industry. When you go looking for those college uniforms, consider the benefits of Landau. Landau offers high quality that just cannot be beat. Landau offers superior construction so your apparel will not fade and waste away. You will also discover this company offers affordable prices. In addition, this company has a reputation that ensures you get the best regardless of the price. You want to show your team spirit, and this has never been easier. You get to look good, feel great, and break the ice with often nervous or anxious patients. You get to show your team spirit and bring a bit of happiness to those around you, even if you are not necessarily supporting their team. More and more professional trust. Landau because you simply get more than you expected. You get the high quality, the affordability, the versatility, and the functionality you expect with every purchase but don't necessarily get from those other designers. That's why you will find more professional choose the company that cares for more than the bottom dollar. This company cares for you. What wedding DJs wish you knew about choosing one? Wedding couples are frustrated. DJs are frustrated. There's a disconnect here. But what exactly is the problem? It depends on who you ask. DJs continually wonder why brides and grooms treat the mobile DJ, the type who lugs around his equipment to show up at big events and weddings, as a commodity. In other words, couples price shop ruthlessly, as if any given DJ were interchangeable with the rest. Paul Arnott, http://www.mybigdate.co.uk, Yorkshire DJ and NADJ National Association of Disc Jockeys member who organises the UK's mobile DJ show North event, http://www.djshownorth.co.uk, puts the problem like this. Well, your average couple spends hours deliberating over the dress. You handpick the caterers. You pour over flowers and sweat over the florist. You spend hours choosing just the right venue and church, not to mention the time spent on favors. But then you go out and hire a DJ because he's $10 cheaper than the next one. Or he's a friend of your brother's, or he does Tuesdays at the local bar. You might never even see him work, check out his equipment, or meet with him personally to make sure he's suitable. Most couples handle every other major item in their budget differently. You don't choose one venue over another because it costs $100 less. Few brides with a budget to work with buy their cakes from the discount grocery store, even though that cake slathered in tubs of buttercream frosting would be much cheaper than 10 from the designer bakery downtown. Instead, they investigate. They take pictures. They taste test amaretto fillings and hors d'oeuvre. And eventually, they settle on the vendor who seems poised to deliver the best experience to their guests. Why is it so different with DJs? Part of the answer is an image problem, says Paul. People perceive that most mobile DJs will turn up 15 minutes ahead of time with a couple of speakers and some cheesy circa 1970s light screens and play Agadoo all night. For we lucky few who haven't heard it, the 1984 song Agadoo frequently charts as the worst song of all time. We all feel confident identifying an excellent meal or a sublime dessert. But few of us feel comfortable evaluating DJs in the same way. We know that a good one can get the party started, but we're not sure how to tell a good one from a bad one. Some people think so poorly of DJs, they prefer to eliminate them entirely, soundtracking the dance portion of the night with iPods or laptops. This isn't easy. It requires you to rent expensive sound equipment, find someone to mind the iPod, possibly buy insurance, and somehow get around or ignore the technical issues like the inevitable 3-second delay between songs you get on an iPod. And yet some people find that preferable to risking the Agadoo or chicken dance scenario on their big day. An iPod might well be better than a bad DJ. But the DJ is a key part of your 5-hour reception, and some of them are very good indeed. When she was good, she was very, very good. Perhaps it's hard for the average bride and groom to grasp the difference between a green DJ with low-end equipment and a seasoned one who knows how to transform shy and retiring Clark Kents into dance floor superheroes. The first may be nothing more than a glorified CD changer. He may or may not have a firm grasp of the different musical needs that accompany standard reception rituals like the cake cutting or the father-daughter dance. He may lug in his entry-level PV subwoofers and arrange his sound system in ways that ignore your venue's peculiarities. The second of may have emceed hundreds of weddings. Along the way he's developed something subtle but important known as voice and personality, not an imitation of some radio hosts but his own. He doesn't practice on your wedding, he brings his skills to it along with a top-of-the-line sound system, which he'll arrange differently depending on factors like whether or not your venue is broken up into several chambers, the cocktail lounge and the banquet area for example. If he's a gearhead, he might even offer specialty lighting abilities you might not think of, such as the ability to shine Go Boss on the dance floor, Go Boss being customized templates that display things like your wedding monogram. Some DJs even offer giant video screens and live replays of key points in the reception. But the most important skills a good DJ will bring to your wedding is a honed personality, a formal friendly image, and an absolute mastery of what gets crowds on their feet. Okay, so you get it. You understand that not all DJs are alike and that a good one brings as much your wedding as any premium florist or baker. So how do you find him? Choose DJs that take their job seriously, skip the part-timers, they're still learning the ropes and they'll be practicing on your wedding. Instead, look for full-timers who show their commitment to the profession by belonging to professional DJ associations such as CPDJA, ADJA, and NAME, or NADJ in the UK. Paul adds, ask if they have public liability insurance in case grandma trips over a speaker wire, and pat electrical test certificates to ensure their equipment is safe. This also shows they're professionals and not cutting corners. Meet with them in person and take a gander at their sound systems. You might not know your Geminis or PVs from your Mackeys or QSCs, but even a casual glance should tell you whether the DJ or company invests in good equipment. In fact, most will be delighted to run you through their top-of-the-line systems if you give them the slightest excuse. While you are there, take a look at their promotional photos and videos. Are they wearing tuxes? Do they look sharp? Does their sound stage sport garish self-promoting signs, or do they keep things discreet? Turn on your X-ray vision. Everyone has what it takes to pick a great DJ. You simply have to meet with them in person and absorb what they have to offer. Paul says, talk to them, their personality should shine through. While you're there, ask them what special qualities they can bring to their wedding. Ask how they're prepared to work with you to make your day extraordinary. The DJ should be happy to meet you, seem interested in the specifics of your venue, and ask questions. Any DJ who seems phased or reluctant by any of this, they're not the one. If your DJ seems bored or gives you the sense you'll be just another date on their calendar, they're also not the one. A coda for the couple. It's true with the cake, it's true with the steak tartare, and it's true for your DJ. The final word is quality, not price. As Paul puts it, when you look back on your wedding reception in years to come, do you want to remember what a fantastic time everyone had? Or do you want to say, well, at least we saved some money on the DJ? Good DJs see themselves as part of the larger picture. They expect to work closely with your coordinator, photographer and videographer, and to custom fit their setup to your venue. So hire a good DJ, one who can help you tailor the night's entertainment to your individual wedding. And see what they can offer to make your wedding function unique, adds Paul. Wedding speeches 101. If you're planning a wedding or planning on being in one, then the question of wedding speeches is bound to come up. Who gives the speeches? Well, this is really up to the couple that's getting married, but there seems to be a normal list of people that are expected to say something. The wedding party usually has the most members talking about the bride or the groom. The best man and matron or maid of honor are the ones that will be giving short speeches before dinner in most cases. Other members of the party can also speak if the couple chooses. The father of the bride usually gives a speech to the guests thanking them for coming, as well as saying a word or two to the groom. The couple themselves may also want to talk to the guests, giving them thanks and their love. Of course, the reception isn't the only place for speeches. Many times the wedding rehearsal has one or two of the couple's parents speaking as well. If you are asked to give a speech, no doubt you are nervous and at a loss for what to say. The best advice is to keep your speech short and simple, so that your nerves don't have time to take over and so that your creativity isn't sapped. Make a list of all of the things that you admire and love about the and or half of the couple. If you've been friends for a while, you may want to include a joke or a story. The best advice is to keep the story clean, though their parents may not want to know what they've done. Talk about the person and then end with some sort of revelation or note of congratulation. Raise your glass and toast the couple, really as easy as that. Before you stand up, if you are asked to give a speech, no doubt you are nervous and at a loss for what to say. The best advice is to keep your speech short and simple, so that your nerves don't have time to take over and so that your creativity isn't sapped. Make a list of all of the things that you admire and love about the couple or half of the couple. If you've been friends for a while, you may want to include a joke or a story. The best advice is to keep the story clean, though their parents may not want to know what they've done. Talk about the person and then end with some sort of revelation or note of congratulation. Raise your glass and toast the couple. It's really as easy as that. If you're afraid that you'll become nervous, make sure that you rehearse the speech, often writing it well in advance. Or you can just focus on your friend as you give the speech and avoid making eye contact out into the reception crowd. Speeches are a wonderful way to give thanks to the guest and to members of the new couple. Use your heart as a guide and you are sure to get it right. You are the one that's asked. What are DVD slideshows and photo montages all about? I'm certain you are all familiar with the old-fashioned slideshows. Well, a DVD slideshow is completely different. Modern technology and software have merged together to give us the beauty and elegance of video, and apply that to our still shots. With the old-fashioned slideshows, you had a noisy projector which projected the images on a wall. I'm sure you all have memories of friends borrowing old vacation footage with the dad or mom narrating everything they saw or did on their trip. With DVD or video slideshows, now you can take your collection of photographs, put them in order to create a theme, add titles, music, special effects and transitions, making it into a spectacular video presentation. The beauty is that there is no noisy projector to lug around and no box of slides. All that stuff stays at home. The only thing you need with a DVD slideshow is your DVD. Take that to any friend's house, relative's house or party and pop it into a regular DVD player and show it on a big screen TV. Now, with the modern software available, companies are creating DVD and video slideshows and photo montages for wedding receptions, anniversaries, birthdays, graduations, showers and much more. Now any occasion can be made into a special occasion by having a DVD slideshow or photo montage at a very reasonable price. Actually, the term photo montage and slideshow are interchangeable, there is no difference. Wouldn't it be fantastic to show a montage at your wedding reception of how you and your fiancé grew up and eventually met? Photographers generally charge an arm and a leg to do that type of work. Now with DVD slideshows you can collect all your old photographs, send them to a company that specializes in DVD slideshows, and within a couple of weeks you'll get back a montage of your pictures with music, transitions, titles and menus, and it will be all ready to show at your reception. What about your parents' 50th wedding anniversary? Why not give them a DVD slideshow of their 50 years together? Better yet, if you are having a celebration party, you can surprise them and show the DVD photo montage at the celebration. Most facilities have DVD players or large screen TVs already on the premises, ready for you to use for your special occasion. All you have to bring is the DVD. That relative that you haven't seen in years and is always bugging you for pictures of the kids. Give them one better, a slideshow of your kids growing up over the last few years. The possibilities are endless. I'm sure you can come up with a few ideas yourself as to how to take advantage of this great and inexpensive method of dressing up old photographs. I hope this has cleared away any mysteries about what DVD slideshow and photo montages really are and how you can use them. What did Reagan know about UFOs? Reagan seemed more enthralled with UFOs than all the US presidents, including Nixon. Reporter Billy Cox noted the many mentions of extraterrestrials in Reagan's speeches and commented Ronald Reagan's abiding fascination with extraterrestrials. One of Reagan's daughters also commented on her father's obsession with UFOs and life on other planets. The source of his fascination is often thought to be the few sightings he claimed to have had. In September 1981, Reagan received a letter from an UFO research group director, Major Rhett Coleman Vonkovitsky. This man had made a second career of sending plaintive pleas to not only the presidents of the United States but to the UN Secretary Generals. When a new president was elected or a new Secretary General came on the scene, they all heard from Major Rhett Coleman Vonkovitsky. What Vonkovitsky wanted was to get the figures of power and authority in governments to recognize that UFOs represented an intergalactic task force that will destroy Earth unless world leaders band together to end their hostile actions against UFOs. http://www.presidentialufo.com/Reagan_UFO_story.htm. He was relentless. As a true believer of what he said, he sent letter and packages with materials outlining the dangers and with demands that plans be drawn up for a defense against the alien threat. In the September 1981 letter, more than 17 documents were sent to Reagan outlining the immediate threat to the world from the aliens. This was his third letter to Reagan. While his previous letters were not answered, his third one was. A distinguished Army officer who gathered many high-ranking positions and metals, including Director of Strategy, Plans and Policy, Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations and Plans, National Security Defense Group Director and the Chief of the Policy Branch of SHAPE in Belgium, Major General Robert Schweitzer, answered it. Schweitzer was the Chief Military Advisor of the White House and National Security Council. Part of Schweitzer's answer to Vonkovitsky readers, sir, the President is well aware of the threat you document so clearly and is doing all in his power to restore the national defense margin of safety as quickly and prudently as possible. Ibid. Well, Vonkovitsky didn't need a flying saucer to fly like the wind to the Associated Press with an admission of the alien threat by the Reagan administration. The app almost put it out on the wire, but didn't once they called and talked with Schweitzer. Had Schweitzer put the word UFO in between the and threat, they would have run with the story. You've just got to ask what Schweitzer was really thinking. Was his song and dance he offered to the app the real deal? Was it a stupid slip, or did he really mean the UFO threat in the context of Vonkovitsky's persistent screed? The Chief Military Advisor of the White House and National Security Council, Major General Robert Schweitzer, was let go on October 26, 81. Strategic Defense Initiative (SDI) program. Though Reagan was credited with this program and its possible use against space invaders, it was concept decades in the making, and one has to ask the question, how come? Generals Douglas MacArthur and John A. McDavid both made comments for public consumption of the possible invasion of interplanetary beings. McDavid said an Air Force-approved speech at Millikan University, Decatur, Illinois, "Before long people may be forced to realize and accept as a fact that this Earth is only an infinitesimal grain of sand in an infinite universe," declared McDavid. "The human is one of many forms of life with which God is concerned, and others are superior to us. And if this is true, our meeting with other types of existence in other places in the universe quite likely will increase the potential element of conflict rather than reduce it." Ibid. Why would a brigadier general have to have an Air Force-approved speech unless he was treading on top-secret grounds and had to walk a very thin line in what he said? And why, if UFOs don't exist, they are just balloons and swamp gas, would he have to walk a very thin line and get Air Force approval? A career State Department diplomat, Michael Michaud, wrote of Nixon's worry about an alien invasion: "Aliens from other solar systems are a potential threat to us, and we are a potential threat to them. Scientists and others have often, and that extraterrestrial societies more advanced than ours would be less warlike. Regrettably, the stereotypes of the benevolent super-intelligent alien may be as unrealistic as the stereotype of the bug-eyed monster carrying off shapely human females. Even if a species had achieved true peace within its own ranks, it would still be worried about us and would take the measures it felt were necessary to protect itself. This includes the possibility, not the inevitability, of military action. Our basic interest will be to protect ourselves from any possible threat to Earth's security." Ibid. There is some speculation that Reagan's SDI had a twofold purpose: to defend against the Soviets and extraterrestrials. Here are some of the sources. In a June 1995 Bay Area lecture, Dr. Stephen Greer announces information leaked to him from the North American Air Defense Command in Colorado shows that the Air Force tracks an average of 500 fastwalkers, term used for UFOs entering the Earth atmosphere every year. New York Times Pulitzer Prize-winning author Howard Blum reports that NORAD deep space radars track many UFOs. Two aerospace engineers working on the Aerojet's DSP spy satellite claim UFOs are detected coming from deep space 2 or 3 times a month. Author Whitley Strieber in his book Breakthrough stated that he had seen part of a document which revealed that the EG&G Corporation is involved in developing defense weapons against extraterrestrials. Two further sources have told Greer that rogue units within unacknowledged special access programs have directed black budget funds to develop SDI weapons to down UFOs. Further, the sources have stated that they have been successful in shoot-downs. It must be said that there are other ufologists who don't agree with these sources. A close encounter of the Spielberg kind. When Steven Spielberg's movie E.T. came out, Spielberg did a private showing for Ronald and Nancy Reagan in the White House. There were guests invited for this private screening, totally about 35 other persons. Apparently, the Reagans loved the movie, indicated by Nancy's tears and Ronald's enthusiasm. After the movie ended, the president leaned over to Spielberg and in a hushed tone said, "You know, there aren't 6 people in this room who know how true this really is. http://www.presidentialufo.com/Reagan_Spielberg.htm Spielberg told a TV producer of Reagan's comment while being interviewed for a documentary. Wedding speech writing tips. The wedding speech, when well thought out, rehearsed, and properly delivered, could bring a wedding reception or dinner to life. A good wedding speech will entertain and make the guests feel great about being present for the celebration. Here are a few tips for writing your own wedding speech if you don't have any idea what to say. Thank anyone important. A wedding is an ideal occasion to thank many people. Name the people you want to give thanks to and why. For example, if you are the best man, you can thank the groom for being his best friend. If you are the bride, you can thank your parents for raising you to be independent and smart. Tell a story. People like to hear stories about other people. Say something you know about the person you'll be talking about because you were also there when it happened, or even if you had only heard about it. For example, you and the groom went to the same college but attended lectures late, if at all, in the mornings because you both played poker all night long. The groom won often and made enough to pay for one semester's tuition. Give a history lesson. This is very similar to telling a story. Go over the significant milestones, if you are familiar with them, about this person, the bride or groom. That would include the schools they attended, the jobs they had, or the hobbies they're into. Disclose a secret. Everyone likes to hear and tell secrets. Say something number one knows about the person you'll be talking about but may be surprised to find out. For example, tell the guests that the bride once auditioned for a popular television show. Or that the groom had a crush on his third-grade school teacher, who, by the way, is a guest tonight. Say something funny. Any occasion would be fun if humor were part of it. If you can make people laugh with a funny story, everyone will feel like they're having a good time and enjoy themselves. You can't force a laugh. However, the stories you tell or the situations you describe can end up getting a few guests chuckling without you trying to make it funny. Give unsolicited advice. It's customary for someone to give the newlyweds some advice. The most common is anything on marriage. If you are making a speech and you are married, you can share your wisdom on how to be a good spouse. A common advice is to resolve your argument before you both go to sleep. Another would be that the wife is always right. Although these examples are important, admittedly they have been overused. What you can do if you can't think of advice that no one else has ever told is to make these original or unique by describing how the advice has helped you in your own marriage. Reveal your feelings. You can express your feelings about the people you'll be talking about in your speech. If you are the father of the bride, tell your daughter how proud you are of her and that you'll always be there for her. In addition, you can tell your new son-in-law how happy you are to have him as a new member of the family. Get the audience involved. This idea is a bit unconventional and almost crosses into the job of the MC, however, you might consider getting the audience involved by asking questions about the couple. You can ask about the craziest thing the couple has ever done. Or you can ask about why they would make a good couple. You can come up with any open-ended question that requires some explaining. Some would be glad to participate just to be the life of the party. By doing this, you'll loosen up the crowd and make the celebration all the more fun. You should consider it an honor and a privilege if asked to make a speech at a wedding reception. The newlyweds family asked you because they trust you and have respect in you. They know that they can count on you to do a good job. Your moment to shimmer in the spotlight is near. Good luck and have fun. Wedding songs. How the guest can choose the ideal music for your wedding. If guests join in with a sing-along at a party, then that is a sure sign to say that they are enjoying themselves. So you see how important it's to choose the right songs for your wedding, then that way your guests also can enjoy themselves too. Wedding songs and music will always be a mood setter, creating an atmosphere for revelers, thus encouraging them to get up and party. Wedding entertainment has changed considerably over the years where music is concerned, so you may find that this part of your wedding planning can be fun as well as interesting, that is, if you see eye to eye with your partner. Most bride and grooms prefer wedding songs that have some form of meaning. These songs can relate to their first date or of another memorable occasion that they both relish the memories of. Important issues that you need know and bear in mind when selecting your wedding music is the rules administered by the wedding venue establishment. They may have restrictions on certain types of musical entertainment. Wedding services or ceremonies as a rule often take place in the House of God Church Chapel, and because of this you need to talk to the vicar prior to the marriage to see if the wedding songs chosen are acceptable. If the wedding service is to be carried out in another type of hall, then still stick with what would be classed as appropriate for the ceremonial wedding song. This is a day to remember in a loving way, not a laughing one. Foot tapping almost starts immediately when the music plays. This is normally seen as the green light signal indicating to all the guests it's party time. This is now where you will notice the atmosphere change to a livelier and up-tempo mode. Wedding songs can be performed by a soloist, band, DJ, or if you want an instrument orchestra. Make sure the reception hall is big enough. Orchestras have many instruments that play a happy tune like the flute, tin whistle to the fully jazzed up sounds of the saxophone. When you are planning songs for your wedding reception, ask for a second opinion from close family members if you feel a little indecisive on the wedding songs to choose. The traditional wedding march is a long time dying out, so therefore it is a good chance you may be sticking with this tune, and why not? What better way to announce your beauty on your wedding day to the tune of Here Comes the Bride? Why not try something different when sending out the wedding invitations? Ask the guest to acknowledge the invite to let you know if they can attend. The way you will ask them to respond is by writing down their favorite tune on the reply card. Sifting through the cards will take a little time, but you have to check anyway to see who can or cannot make it to your wedding. Take note of every party favorite tune listed by the guests and have the band play a compilation of melodies of their chosen favorites. Not all can be accommodated, but the band can connect by playing another song from that particular artist that they chose. Just a suggestion to ensure that the wedding songs played at your wedding will be enjoyed by all. Wedding traditions, a history lesson. Throughout the millennia, the concept of family and marriage have been so closely knotted together that it's sometimes impossible to separate one from the other. Marriage is present in every culture in some form. Although the laws, norms and cultures may differ, they all still recognize the union of man and woman under one roof. Marriage has evolved in so many ways from the different cultures all throughout the world throughout the ages. For each culture, there are diverse ways of celebrating something like marriage. But in each culture there has always been one thing that has remained the same, that in every culture and every tribe marriage has always been one to be celebrated with the utmost of festivities, with singing, eating, and celebrating. Along with these festivities, man has also adopted a growing and evolving number of traditions, each filled with meaning and, believe it or not, shocking origins. The wedding cake. Today's tall, elaborated and delicately crafted wedding cakes evolved from the simple groom's cakes made by family members for the bride. Before the wedding day, one of these cakes was put under the pillow of the bride. The bride would then sleep and dream of the groom and, yes, squish the cake into oblivion. The real wedding cake would be a pound cake that would be pound up and crumbled and tossed at the couple as a sign of fertility. That is where we get today's custom of sprinkling the couple with rice after the wedding. Cakes during weddings are usually stacked up in large layers. The higher the stack, the more glamorous the cake. People usually regard these arrangements a mere style. However, they were done so in the past as a symbol of fertility. Couples would stack these cakes to symbolize how many children they wished to have. So in the past, the higher the stack, the more the children. Tying the knot. Now the truth can be told. Tying the knot did not necessarily mean getting knotted together. During ancient tribal times, the bride would usually be wrapped in a sheep with a knot out in front. This was to symbolize virginity. Untying the knot was the groom's privilege after the wedding the night. Best man's secret agent. And startling enough, the best man used to play a different role in the early days. During tribal times, it was the best man's duty to abduct potential brides from other tribes. He would usually do so by clubbing the poor damsel over the head and drag her back home, just like those comic skits about cavemen seem to suggest. It was also the best man's job to ward off the angry relatives of the bride. So in the early days, it was the best man swinging his axe while the groom got hitched. Today, although we are a little less barbaric than earlier times, we still see an evolution of the wedding ceremony and its tradition. These traditions are filled with meaning and can only serve to make your wedding day more memorable. Wedding toast tips and advice. Wedding toasts perform an essential role during the wedding celebration. The wedding toast serves as a link between the formal wedding ceremonies and the less formal atmosphere of the wedding reception. The wedding toast also allows some members of the family, relatives and closest friends to express their feelings and to wish the couple well. Having toast started from the belief that creating some noise such as ringing a bell, in this case the clinking of a glass, can cast away evil spirits. The wedding toast may follow a traditional or a non-traditional order. In the traditional order, the first toast is the toast to the bride or the toast to the bride and groom. This is done by the best man, a relative or a friend. The groom then responds with a message to his bride, the person who made the toast, the couple's parents, and a toast to the bridesmaids. The best will then respond to thank the groom on behalf of the bridesmaids. At times, if the bride has spoken after the groom, the best man will thank the bridesmaids. A close friend or relative may then follow with another toast. After this, the father of the bride thanks the guests on behalf of his wife and himself and announces that they can begin with the celebration. The non-traditional toast is done to do something different from the tradition. The order may be changed to suit the guests and the occasion. The MC proposes the first toast for the couple. The groom then thanks the MC and the guests and toasts to his bride. The bride thanks her groom and the guests and proposes a toast to her parents and her in-laws. At times a special toast may be done for her in-laws. The father of the bride thanks the bride for the toast, thanks the guests for attending, and announces that the celebration may begin. At times the MC may propose a toast to the bridesmaids, after which the maid of honor may respond with thanks or propose another toast. The MC may introduce guests who will propose their toasts and announce the beginning of the celebration. Here are some tips when proposing a toast. The bride should be served the beverage first, followed by the groom, the maid of honor, the parents, and then the best man. The toast can be done with a sip of wine, champagne, or a non-alcoholic drink except coffee, tea, and water. If you'll propose the first toast, make sure that not only your glass but also all the other glasses are filled before you start speaking. When proposing a toast, raise your glass with your right hand. The glass should be held in a straight line from the shoulder. It's better to compose your own wedding toast. However, if you cannot write a good one, you can try traditional wedding toast, but make sure to personalize it to include your feelings and thoughts about the bride and groom. Always remember to end a toast with an invitation to the guests to join you and something that tells them what to say in response. These are some things that one should remember when proposing a wedding toast. On the other hand, if you received a toast, you do not raise your glass, stand, nor sip your drink. You just thank the toasters, and although you are not required, you may propose another toast. What is autism? People with ASD's autistic spectrum disorder see the world in a very different way to us. The signals in their brains seem to be jumbled and confused. It seems for many their sensory perception is different. Things that we take for granted are hard for them to understand. For example, a person's face to us is a way of telling a lot about someone. Understanding the situation you're in, reading a person's emotions, anger, happiness, and sadness. People with ASDs find it hard to read people's faces and emotions, so don't always understand how someone is feeling, which also impacts on their social skills. Other examples are heightened sound sensitivity. Many people with ASDs have a very high sensitivity to sound, so something as simple as a sneeze or a cough can almost be intolerable to them. People with ASDs are very vulnerable people and rely on us as their support to almost be that part of them that can't unravel these mixed messages in their head. Quite often you will hear their disability described as the triad of impairments, which are the bellow, difficulty in communicating, difficulty in understanding social situations, inflexibility of thought. Autism is a disability which affects the development of social skills. People with autism may also have learning difficulties and find it very hard to make sense of the world around them. Asperger's syndrome is sometimes mistakenly called mild autism. People with this condition are highly communicative and often have average or above average IQ. They will quite often realize that they're different from their peers and seem unable to lead the same lifestyle. This can lead to bewilderment, isolation, frustration, anger, despair, depression, and in some cases to mental health difficulties. Other common problems in people with ASDs are aggression, irritability, obsessions, and repetitive behaviors. It's also very common to find that people with ASDs suffer from ADHD and Tourette's. People with ASDs have a very hard life and are almost not in control of their own at all. The autistic spectrum disorder is a very complex disorder which will often single them out. With the addition of their social skills impairment, it can be a very confusing and lonely world. Wedding words. Intimate vows behind closed doors. Wedding words. Why is it that every wedding message given to the future bride and groom always begins with those famous wedding words like "this is going to be the most special day of your life," or that your wedding is an occasion to be remembered for a long time to come? Well, the reason behind those precious sayings is because it is. Why is the wedding supposed to be the most special day in your life? We all ask. Well, that's easy. This is where you pledge your undying love for your partner till death do us part. Take the wedding words or vows, a very special part of all wedding ceremonies where the happy couple get to say what it's they really feel for each other. Heaven forbid if you had a tiff earlier or a minor disagreement. The exchange of the gold wedding band makes the service extra special if the couple who are to be joined together in holy matrimony have personalized their wedding words. So why not make your day unique by having your wedding words tailor-made by you, so as to speak? How can pre-written wedding vows by a stranger express what it's you really want to say? Wedding words can be simple, so don't be put off. If you find it hard to put your feelings down on a piece of paper, ask a very close friend to help you with personalizing your written words. Intimacy portrayed in your vows should be limited till a more appropriate time, like behind closed doors. But the more intimate the message, the more attention from the audience. In a nutshell, a wedding message will always be a part of the wedding ceremony to be remembered till eternity. And if we want to guarantee this occasion to be special and remembered, then add a touch of uniqueness to your wedding activities. This could be something in the church or at your wedding venue. The choice is yours. Unique means unique. Why not have the groom walk down the aisle to you, or both together? It breaks with tradition, but you have to admit it is certainly different. 1. Ask the wedding guests not to give a wedding favor, instead ask for a small donation for charity. 2. Have a contest on the night for the best dressed guest. Let the guest know of this competition on their wedding invitation. This will give them chance to decide on what to wear. Not everyone can be a winner, but you are, because you have just added that touch of uniqueness by the way of having a wedding with the best turned out audience like that of the awards. Forget the red carpet for all the guests to walk on when entering the wedding venue. This will make them feel extra special, just like your wedding day. 3. If your budget allows, invite a celebrity along to sing at the wedding venue. The lyrics of the song will certainly be wedding words that will never be forgotten. The options are endless to make your wedding day special and stay forever in your thoughts. Wedding preparations carefully planned will make your dream come true when those precious wedding words are spoken. Specially remembered from this day forward. Wedding Toast Guide. Standing in front of friends and relatives speaking your wedding toast can be a nerve-wrenching experience. You worry that you'll stammer and stutter, or worse, get so nervous that everyone will be able to hear the shakiness in your voice. Preparation is the key to relieving yourself of some of this nervousness. As far as what you say, that is a bit trickier. In a mixed crowd, namely one that includes your parents and in-laws, you know that your wedding toast needs to meet a certain standard. There are no rules to follow to create a memorable wedding toast, but as long as your wedding toast includes humor, sentiment, and is an enjoyable length and pace, it will go over well with your guests. All jokes aside, it's true that humor can break the ice and help you to feel more at ease about presenting your wedding toast. However, don't just throw out jokes. Is there a story about you and your significant other that has a humorous ending? These go over much better than what you might find in a joke book. Don't do this with your wedding toast. This is the fastest way to lose your guests and to slow down the reception. It's a good idea to practice your toast several times. Memorize it if that helps. Keep it short. A wedding toast is a speech, but a short one. You don't want to put people to sleep, or worse, have people leaving the ceremony. Practice the toast beforehand and make sure that it's no longer than a few minutes. Keep it moving. You know how you are talking to someone and you've the urge to finish their statements for them because they take the roundabout way to say something. Mystery is a good element to couple with emotion when giving your toast. By hinting at something that's only known to you and your mate also makes the toast romantic. Showing public sentiment is typically more difficult for men. So just by adding a bit of emotion to a wedding toast will go over well for the groom. You don't have to make it very deep. Just a few words that show your guests how you feel about your mate are sufficient. If you decide to tell a personal story, check with your significant other to make sure it's acceptable. One thing that can definitely ruin a wedding toast is the look of embarrassment or anger on your mate's face. Tell them how you feel. What if we can't afford a professional wedding photographer? If as a couple you find that your wedding budget has no room for D services of a professional photographer, D situation does have a remedy. Even though you are not able to take advantage of D creativity and experience of a professional, you can still put together a beautiful wedding photo album that's unique and memorable. You probably know someone in your circle of friends, family members who is an accomplished photographer or at least has a strong interest in photography. Don't be ashamed to put D word out that you need some help in documenting your special day. D individuals you approach will probably be flattered that you've asked for their help. Some might be a little nervous about taking on this responsibility, so it will be up to you to put them at ease and make it clear that there is no pressure. It's important once you have agreed to work with your photographer that you meet and discuss your vision and your expectations of the wedding photos. Please remember though that this individual is really doing you a favor, so treat them with respect and sensitivity and not as an employed professional. Ask your photographer for their ideas and input and work together on the process of planning the wedding day's photo documentation. Here are a few quick ideas that you can share with your photographer to get him or her started on the planning process. 1. If your wedding is being held indoors, select a scenic outdoor location in advance where you can stop after D ceremony and prior to D reception to get some photos in natural light, preferably with a park or flower garden background too. When taking photos at D reception, try getting candid photos at D tables and on D dance floor. Many amateur photographers alert D subjects and the results look far too stiff and posed. More interesting shots are natural photos of people having fun and interacting naturally. 3. Every photo need not have a full view of a person included, as much of D story can be told by small vignette-type photos such as a close-up shot of a guest's hand signing D guest book or just D bride and groom's hands intertwined showing D rings. Photographs such as these add great interest when interspersed in D album with D people photos. 4. Stand on a chair or kneel down when taking some shots to get differing interest perspectives. 5. Load a separate camera with black and white film, as many of these shots have a nice artistic appeal. 6. If necessary, when photographing D wedding cake, move it to a location free of background distractions. 7. If you are taking a series of group shots, make sure that you move D location, as several photos with identical backdrops will get monotonous when viewed concurrently in an album. My experience has been that having a friend or family member take D photos often produces a more intimate result because she knows the people involved and often captures more meaningful shots. Don't forget that in all likelihood many more people will be taking photos of their own, of which some will be keepers. Let your guests know that you would be interested in getting copies of their best shots. In conclusion, while it's a nice luxury to employ a pro, you can get wonderful results using a friend as your wedding photographer. For more information and descriptive wedding planning articles on every aspect of D process, please visit http://perfect-wedding-plans.com, target =_blank, greater than perfect wedding plans, less than a greater than. Terms and conditions. Legal notice. The publisher has strived to be as accurate and complete as possible in the creation of this report, notwithstanding the fact that he does not warrant or represent at any time that the contents within are accurate due to the rapidly changing nature of the Internet. While all attempts have been made to verify information provided in this publication, the publisher assumes no responsibility for errors, omissions, or contrary interpretation of the subject matter herein. Any perceived slights of specific persons, peoples, or organizations are unintentional. In practical advice books, like anything else in life, there are no guarantees of income made. Readers are cautioned to rely on their own judgment about their individual circumstances to act accordingly. This book is not intended for use as a source of legal, business, accounting, or financial advice. All readers are advised to seek services of competent professionals in legal, business, accounting, and finance fields. You are encouraged to print this book for easy reading. Don't leave before you press like button below and subscribe to this channel. As a subscriber, you will receive a new notifications every time a new video is uploaded. Good luck.